What is Adapter Fex? Adapter Fex runs on a card called a Palo card, which is my network interface card, my physical card inside the blade chassis. So here I have my blade chassis. This is the Palo card, and this is the blade chassis, or the blade itself. Within the blade, I'm running an operating system, like ESXi, like Windows, like Red Hat, everything. What I do is I present some network interface cards on the PCI bus. So like if I would insert PCI adapters in a server, so just the plain old-fashioned way, I inject some cards in a server in PCI slots, but now I do that in a virtual way. So I simulate that. And I also insert some fiber channel adapters. So the host operating system sees 7 different network cards, 4 Ethernet cards and 3 fiber channel cards. They all have their own PCI bus number, they all have their own MAC address, they all have their own settings, and I can use them just like a physical network interface card. Behind this technology, there is only a single wire going out of the system. There can be multiple, of course, for redundancy, but let's assume we only have a single wire getting out of this system. The configuration for that particular system, for this particular VNIC, is hosted somewhere else, in case of a blade system. That configuration is maintained on the fabric interconnect. Here I have the configuration settings for that specific network interface card here that I'm presenting to the OS. So how do I transport traffic? So how do I get my traffic from the host OS up to my fabric interconnect? That is what this is all about. And that is why it's called Adapter Fex, because it's technically a fabric extender, but we extend the fabric into the PCI bus. So the first generation of fabric extender is where we use a remote line card and we do a port fan out, a physical port fan out. Then this next step is we go into the server and we go into the PCI bus of the server and we present ports there. So that is really the next step in extension of my interface configurations. So that also means that there's no processing of the traffic on the network interface card. All it does, if it receives a packet here, it will inject that VN tag and send it across the line. It's received on the FI will read the VN tag and will say, all right, that traffic belongs to this configuration. So that is Adapter Fex. So, and then we have another thing called VMFex that goes another step deeper. So the next step in that is that we go into the hypervisor, and instead of using PCI bus slots, we use VM interfaces. So a network interface of the VM is then transported from here. So here a VM comes online. That configuration is then also sent with a VN tag all the way up to the fabric interconnect. So this is Adapter Fex. We go into the PCI bus. PCI bus is Adapter Fex. If we go into the hypervisor, we call it VMFex because the VM interface is really our configuration that we do. And then we of course have, let's say port fex or just plain old-fashioned fex. And that is when we have one port on an axis that we fan out to 48 other ports on a fabric extender. So that is normal fex. Adapter fex, VMFex, and fex. Those are the 3 flavors that we have.